there? Did you hang up on me?
No, I'm here. It just
okay. Well, I just went. It went quiet. Almost clicked a little bit, and I thought, "Oh my God, here it goes."
Well, I gotta wait. I gotta wait till I see where it says start recording, and it's always 2 seconds. 2 seconds later, I think from when it starts.
That's probably good. We should have a delay, right? So it should be one of the things where you could beat me, or you know what they do in radio, right? No, what they can say that.
Yeah, this was like an 8-second delay, and they bleep you out. Bleep you out. Yep. I mean, the pregame that we had, I'd had to bleep you out every other word.
Well, it's because I'm talking about this freaking computer I bought. It's just yeah, this new computer is just hunk of junk.
That's a shame. Nothing works. Nothing works like it's supposed to. It all takes. Technology is supposed to make our lives so much easier, and it just all it does is aggravating.
I was thinking that a second ago while I was spinning up. I said, I'm one lottery ticket away from never looking at a computer again.
Yeah, that's good.
That's exactly what I thought. And then I thought, what I need, and I thought, man, if you're like, I was thinking of Powerball today. Well, there's a website called Land Watch. Are you familiar with it?
No, I am not. Land Watch.
It's maybe mainly geared toward land, right? So I get on there and I set my search to acres. So like there's a property that's 277,000 acres, I think is the largest one in America for sale right now.
Holy crap. What's that going for?
I don't remember, and it's not that much, 12, 15, 18 million, because you got to read the fine print and
probably don't get any mineral rights or any gas.
Well,
rights,
it's only like 15,000 deeded acres, and the other 250,000 is U.S. government grazing rights of some sorts and a bunch of other junk. But there's 4,300 acres for sale in North Missouri, right, kind of where I'd like to be. And I said to myself, man, the only way I'm ever going to be able to afford something like that is win the lottery. Remember a month or so ago it was 600 million or whatever, remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wasn't almost $1 billion, right?
Yes. And I thought that's what a guy had to do. And I thought, I don't know how it would work out, because I thought that would suck, because I would want to be there and my kids are in school here and my old lady would want to stay here, it'd be a pain in the ass, right?
It sounds like it'd work out perfectly.
So, well, I mean, it'd be something for me, but nobody else would care, right? So then that segued into, while ago when the computer went, I thought, man, if I won that lottery ticket, I could go up there to my 4,300 acres, and I wouldn't have to look at the computer. And I thought, well, surely if you were super rich, you couldn't get away from the computer, right? Because you'd want to be buying stuff and taking trips, or I don't know, maybe I'd just use my phone. But how my phone can work 1,000 times better than these giant computers is beyond me. I mean, pop-ups. You can't see. There's pop-ups right near on my screen asking me for this is a McAfee pop-up. McAfee's dead. How can he be selling me anything?
Wait, isn't he the guy that
Yes.
They did the documentary on?
I don't know if they did a documentary about it, but I used to read the Daily Mail all the time, and he was always running from the law. Is
he dead?
Yeah, he died in some South Central American jail cell last year.
Did he really die though?
I don't know.
That was an interesting story.
Go nab some white tourist and put him in this place. I like the way you think.
Yeah, it was such an interesting story around that.
Yes.
Guy that that's the kind of story that I could see it not really being him that died.
There was something about the way he was in a sailboat. He was always skirting around the Mediterranean with some dark-skinned women and Mossberg shotguns. And you would think a dude that's how I knew it was for real, because a dude that's worth all that money and he's got a $150 shotgun to fend off the pirates with. You know what I mean?
Well, I was going to say, though, if you had 4,300 acres, you wouldn't have time to be on the computer. There'd be something different to do every day.
It said there was 35 miles worth of road in there. And what I was trying to think, it was up there. My dad had a friend of his from the Army days up there that was a junkyard guy, mule guy, horse guy, just everything dude. And he died last year. Otherwise, he would be I'd have to get him on a Patreon because he'd cuss. And there's a big coal power plant in North Missouri at a place called Thomas Hill. And they were buying up in the 70s and 80s, they were buying up all this land to strip mine it, right? Open pit strip mine.
Yeah.
And this 4,300 acres, that's how it got put together. The mine somehow originally, you know what I mean? It was mine ground that had been reclaimed and all this other stuff. And I was trying to see where this guy's farm was, because in about, I think I talked about it in a podcast one time, about 83, they finally either offered him enough money or forced him out or whatever, that 83 or 84. And I was trying to follow these roads, how to get back to where I thought his place was. Does that make sense? Because it's not obviously not there anymore. But I'll tell you how crazy my life was when I was young. And there's a way to timestamp this. He farmed with horse-drawn machinery, even though he had a fleet of trucks and different things. You know what I mean? Just
Mm-hmm.
I can't even tell you all the craziness. He was like a what the Mormons call him, Jack Mormon. He was like when you get kicked out of the Mormon church, he was like half Amish, half wild man, right? So
I'm not sure what that is.
half the time he'd want to use a horse and buggy or you know what I mean? Big blonde Belgians. Okay, he had these big blonde Belgian horses, and I'd go up there in the summertime from my hometown to anyway, my parents, you want to talk about nuts, they would put me on a Greyhound and buy me a bus ticket up there, and his mom or dad would pick me up at the bus stop up there. Now, so you remember when Juice Newton's, what was her number one song? Playing with the Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts, yeah. When that song was number one.
1980.
No, it was like 82, wasn't it?
Ooh.
Because I looked it up one day because I was like, dude, my parents put me on this is what I thought. My parents put me on a freaking Greyhound when I was 12 years old. They should be reverse prosecuted or something. You know? I'm looking it up right now.
I am too. Juice Newton is 70 years old.
Well, I can't believe she's from New Jersey.
Well, she won the Grammys in 83. So I'm guessing that Angel of the Morning. Well, that was a great song.
Well, you're right. 81. You were close, yeah. So imagine I was 10 years old. Hey, imagine I was 10 years old on a freaking Greyhound bus. That's just insane when I think about it. Insane. Mm-hmm.
That is insane. Queen of Hearts. How about this? She released it in 1981. Mm-hmm. Okay. It was also released by Rodney Crowell, who's a pretty famous country guy, in 1980. It was released in 1979 by Dave Edmunds. It got released 3 years in a row.
To the victor go the spoils.
And she obviously had the biggest hit with it. Wow. Boy, and Hank DeVito wrote that song and got 3. I mean, I'm dying for cuts for anything, and he literally got the same song cut 3 years in a row, and they won a Grammy for it. How about that?
Maybe because it was a good song.
It was. Well, it is. I mean, the DeVito guy was original member of Emmylou Harris's Hot Band, and Rodney Crowell, who cut it, was in that band. There you go.
You know, Emmylou Harris, I think, who was she married to?
That's a good question.
Back up. Did you listen to the Marin interview with who did Rocky Mountain High?
Rocky Mountain High. You're not talking about
John Denver. No. Rocky Mountain Way.
Oh, Joe Walsh?
One of the Eagles, Joe Walsh. Did you listen to Marin's interview with Joe Walsh?
No, I've not. I have to go back.
You know how in that song, in that Rocky Mountain Way, he's got that thing that goes wah 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 wah.
Oh yeah,
You know, okay. So Marin asked him about that, and I swear he said Emmylou Harris's husband did that, or
Really?
somebody's husband. I think it was because he's kind of segued off, and he said, "Well, we were such and such's husband," and he said the country singer, and he goes, "Yeah, but back in them days, if you could either work in a factory or play for whatever band, you know what I'm saying?" And
Mm-hmm.
he got a job in a country band, you know, and that was the deal. You could either play country music or go back to the factory. So, and he was married to her down there in Nashville, and he had took some old amplifier and made that thing, whatever that was called, right? And you know where I'm going with this?
Keep going.
So he said that he had been experimenting. He said, I stopped by there, and I can't remember exactly how he said, you know, basically he was down there visiting them or whatever, and they'd been drinking, and he was showing, hey, look at them, I invented this thing, and whatever he called it, right? And Joe Walsh says, what are you gonna do with it? And he said, I don't know. Why don't you take it and try to do something with it? So when he did Rocky Mountain Way, they'd moved out. All of his record deals had flunked out, or he'd run out of steam or whatever, and they were living in somebody's cabin out in Colorado, just smoking weed and drinking. You know what I mean?
And this is after he did the Eagles and everything, right? Because did he do single? Was he a solo artist after?
I think yes. So he was in a purgatory there, and I don't remember because the Eagles broke up, something happened that he was just scattered out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote that song, and somebody reached out to him and said, what do you got, or do you got anything? And he goes, this is the only thing. And they who had been singing that is more like a joke, like they would sit around and make fun of themselves, you know what I mean? Rocky Mountain Way, what, you just hanging out, you know what I mean? Just
No, actually, Rocky Mountain Way came out in '73
before the Eagles.
Before the Eagles.
Hey,
Okay.
but you know what he told me he did? You know who he gave that thing to? He
Who'd
only
he give
used it one time. Peter Frampton. And
That's right. That's
he
right.
said, yeah, I know. Frampton.
Yeah.
He said Frampton made a freaking career out of the thing. He said we made one song and thought it was nuts. And he said, I give it to Frampton. He made a career out of it.
Joe Walsh wrote Life in the Fast Lane. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh wow. In the City. Huh. Boy, he did. He was Rocky Mountain Way, Life's Been Good to Me. That's a great song.
Yeah, I mean he you know what's funny is you listen to him and he's he's pretty with it, and just
Do you know who his girlfriend is now?
I wouldn't even know.
Stevie Nicks.
The ham radio. Oh, Stevie Nicks. That'd be a
Nicks.
great one if you were that age, wouldn't it?
He's 74 years old. Stevie Nicks is she's got to be close to that. She's 74. Wow.
How did we get on that? That's not even. We were far from my computer not working to the Queen dying to that. How did that make that circle that quick?
I mean, listen, the notes that I had for this episode did not include Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
Did not include Joe Walsh and Rocky Mountain High. No, not even, especially
Rocky Mountain High. Is Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain Way? Which is it?
It's Way. Rocky Mountain High. Rocky Mountain High.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which could be a play on words. I don't know.
Could be. I don't know.
I have no idea. So what do you think about the Queen dying?
I think it's a sad day. I got tears in my eyes right now because of it.
I mean, you spent lots of time over there in Europe.
I did. I've got. You know what's funny is I started to pull some pictures off of. Yes, I've been to Buckingham Palace, the outside. I don't know, 25 times. I've been through Hyde Park there. One of my biggest regrets, and this will mean more to the guys that are over there than me, you know what I mean, the people that have. Mm-hmm. I got to go to Westminster a couple of times. And if you've been there, hold on, I'm going to get my map up here because I'm going to tell it wrong, and the people from there will be correcting me.
Stephen Wade is probably just waiting for you to make a mistake.
I doubt it. You know, those guys, if you've been to Cockermouth, you don't know, or Coxmouth, or whatever that thing is. If you've been there, you don't need to go down to Westminster here.
Probably not. You're probably not allowed. You're probably not allowed in Westminster.
I'm telling you, it's hold on here. Keep talking so we don't go to. So we'll go to.
Well, I just
to the best
okay.
of.
So like Christy's a big fan of the Royals. Her mom is a huge fan of the Royals, and it just strikes me is kind of like it really like it's such an antiquated idea to have a king and have royalty like that, especially in a pretty progressive country that really don't mean anything. Really, I mean, it's just kind of tradition. So it's just kind of strange to me, the whole pomp and circumstance behind it. And,
well, there's a few kings and there's some real monarchies around.
There's not. Is there really? I mean, in I mean, what countries would there be?
You're kidding, right?
Like, what's that?
Like off with their heads, king and queen.
Yeah, like king.
Go to Saudi Arabia and rag on the king sometime.
Wow, is that really a king? Is he really a king?
Well, right now it's a print, huh?
Yeah, but is that the same family that's been in king and queen or been in
Hold on a second. Yeah, so hey, let's look at you're getting me off of my castles, but why don't you research the King of Jordan sometime?
Oh boy.
My favorite king right there, King Abdullah, is a direct descendant. Hold on, how many generations here? Succession throne at first year. I can't even come. Yeah, there's a few cats that are still. I mean, she's. I mean, they've only been king and queen for, what's her group has only been there for what 300 or 400 years. But you get, huh?
I don't know. I haven't dove into it like that.
Yeah, so I think King Abdullah is. I mean, he can trace his people back. I don't know, 140 generations or something. I'm trying to look it up, but this freaking Wikipedia is just not to give me.
It's the computer, right?
Well, no, I'm on my big one. I'm on my kid's gaming computer from 6 years ago, and even though it's 6 years old, it is an absolute racehorse. And the reason why I don't do Skype on it is because I usually like to jack around with it. King Abdullah II is a direct descendant of the 6th century prophet Muhammad.
What? Really? Okay.
Yeah, dude, come on. There's some cats out in this world that's really got some street cred.
Some street cred. They got some pedigree. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Direct descendant of Muhammad. Wow.
Yeah, I think there's 2 or 3 cats that are out there that could Muhammad and somebody else.
Mm-hmm. They've been the reigning royal family of Jordan since 21. See, that's only since 21. So, I mean, wow.
That's because back then they were just Bedouins walking around. I mean, it's like saying that, you know what I mean? I mean, it's hard for us to imagine it like that. You know what I mean? So it'd be like your family being the king of Bucyrus for 1,000 years before there was a thing called Ohio.
Well, boy, I can only, the wealth that would come.
If you were the king of Ohio?
Well, being the king of Bucyrus, I think that would probably preclude me from becoming ruler of Ohio.
The whole thing was back in the old days, though. I mean, it's not like people got around.
Yeah.
You
right.
really couldn't. I guess Alexander the Great and some of them could. Today's day, I mean, we certainly can't manage the people we've got now.
True.
I mean, I'm gonna hate to go off the rails here, but back in them days when they had a whole kingdom to kind of how do you keep in line,
I don't know how they did it.
Well, I'll tell you how they did. They killed them. They didn't put up with a lot of BS, man. You told the freaking line, or they whacked you.
I mean, some of those some of those empires were so big. It's like,
well, first of all, people work from daylight to dark to survive. So they didn't get to go out to some college somewhere and party and hang out and do whatever they're going to do and try to figure out what they're going to do for life. You were chopping wood or raising something to eat, hunting something to eat, or you were dying.
Making stuff out of leather, stuff like that.
Maybe, yeah. What I started to say a while ago, one of my biggest regrets is I've been to Windsor Castle 2 or 3 times, and I didn't realize, and this will mean something to them, the town of Windsor is around the castle, right? So I took a picture of myself around this big statue. We're going to bars, pubs, clubs, whatever you want to call them, there's a lot of shit to do there, right?
I can imagine.
But I've always been there in the evening.
The changing of the guard or something, right?
No, that's at Westminster and Buckingham Palace. That's Buckingham Palace. Been there too. But I did not realize. So if you look up Windsor Castle, you will see this giant, road leading up to it's probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles long, right? It's beautiful. I was on the side of the castle. It'd be like saying, where I'm from, there's a prison downtown, Jeff City. There's a prison, and you can't see the forest for the trees. So I take my picture around the statue. There's a gate over there. We can see some little deer or something, but we are so close to the castle, we can't see it. Does that make sense?
You can't get a perspective.
Yes, you don't realize that
it's so big that you can't even.
It's so big. All you're seeing is this 40-foot brick wall thing. And cool. Wonder what's on the other side of it. One of the biggest freaking castles in the world.
Yeah. Well, but it just so King Abdullah of Jordan is actually ruling Jordan, right? I mean,
yes. Where the queen's more ceremonial. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Which I'll hate. It really bothers me. I wish I had an app that I can zap people and it would send a shock through their phone and kill them. Because then I could sit there all day like a when you were a kid, they had the bug zappers, they turn the light on and the bugs are flying.
Yeah, exactly.
So I could just sit there and zap people on that phone because, they're bad mouthing her being a colonialist and all this other stuff. And she was completely opposite. She oversaw the decolonization of the British Empire. It went from the sun never sets on the British Empire to
barely owning anything.
Yes. Yeah. And it just goes to show you that we don't teach 2 things in this country: mathematics, and you can see that with the budget, and history, because people would really know how bad the world can be in places.
I don't even think they know where to begin in history, teaching history, to be honest with you. I just don't think there's so many ways to look at history, so many perspectives. I don't even think they know where to begin. Like, whose perspective do you teach history from? Because it's not black and white.
Well, you teach it by ours.
Okay. I guess.
What do you mean? Whose perspective?
Well, like the way I look at something affected me, is way different than the way it affected somebody else, or how it happened, or else, I'm not even going to get off on that tangent. Ryan Smith, wherever he's at, he's like, come on, guys.
Who's Ryan Smith?
He's the one that wants you to stay off the rails. He's the fan that.
There ain't no, hey, where I'm going, there ain't no freaking rails. Okay. The rails are coming 150 years after me. I'm a goddamn Indian running across the open plains, right? Chasing Tatanka, the 4-legged Tatanka.
There you go.
There ain't no rails where I'm going. I where I'd like to go with some of these people, they're so freaking ignorant, completely
True.
ignorant.
But the other thing I had on my besides the Queen was I sat down and last year was the big 20th anniversary of 9/11.
That's right.
And so it was kind of I remember we sat there and watched the whole thing about Flight 93 and stuff, and that's just really kind of gets to you. Well, and tonight they were running some stuff and they were talking about the fire department there in New York City, and a lot of my family was was and is, and firefighters, and you kind of sit there, and it was. They said there's 60, which is and isn't a lot, I guess, but there's 60 current. There's 60 kids of firemen who were killed or passed away in 9/11. Currently working on the
so it's only what 10%? Because how many firemen were killed on 9/11?
I think they said 343.
Yeah. So 20% then.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different brothers they had on there that are currently working in the fire department, and they were talking about their dad, and how the one set of brothers, I think 8 and 9, and they said there was 10 kids in their family, eight boys, 2 girls, and they said for 5 years after their father passed away, the station that he worked for cooked them dinner every Monday night for 5 years until they moved out of the city, till they moved out of the district there. I'm like, that's pretty cool stuff. But they, like they said, they did everything they could while we were still living there growing up to make us know that we had support and extended family. But they said, but it's just not like having your dad there. And it's like circumstances, how it happened. I mean, those guys all signed up to put their lives on the line, but it shouldn't have been for the circumstance that they lost their lives. It's just, in retrospect, looking back, it's just such a terrible tragedy that these guys would give up their lives for something so senseless. It was perpetrated, for such a senseless act.
I'm not gonna say anything.
No, don't say.
Yeah, I don't even know what I mean. This topic is like an old truck. It's easy to see where to start. When you're fixing up an old truck, it's easy to see where to start. It's hard to see where to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The senselessness is that it was allowed to happen by weak U.S. policy. That's the senselessness.
True. It becomes more and more apparent to the average person, I think, every day.
Maybe. I don't know. I think the average person, if you even know what 9/11 was, I think you're above average. I think the average person in this country anymore is one step below Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? They know what some pop culture and stuff is. You remember how when we were kids, you had some old grandpa that was always buy American. He was down on the Japanese, right?
Oh yeah.
You remember them guys?
Well, my grandpa fought in World War II, and
buy American, hate the Japanese, right? Remember them days? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but who's around there anymore? Who thinks about that?
Nobody.
That's what I'm saying. So that 9/11 was. I mean, nobody. I mean, when I say nobody cares, they certainly don't care like they did on 9/12, right? Remember 9/12 when everybody was loading magazines and joining up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was squandered. That patriotism was squandered.
Yeah, and it didn't take very long either.
No, we should have just conquered the world and kept it right now, but we didn't. We just tear a bunch of shit up and rebuild it and piss away a bunch of money and hope it gets better next time.
That 4,300 acres sounds better and better all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, I just think, it's no wonder these people are just, I got a friend of mine that is a closet listener.
So does he? How many people out there think he immediately pictured this guy like sitting in the corner of the closet underneath with clothes hanging over his head. He might be sitting on a shoe or the bowling ball at the bottom of the closet. Like,
and the point is, they are probably one of the 3 smartest people in the world I've ever met, and I've met some smart cats, right?
yeah.
And they opine that the luckiest people in the world are the dumbasses. That don't second guess anything, that don't try to see behind the curtain, that if that's what the man says, that's what it is, and
Does that make them dumb that they understand? I mean, does that make somebody dumb that they're just satisfied with what's going on?
I don't know. We don't know if they're just dumb or they're just, they have something in their brain that they're not like, this particular person could probably regurgitate anything on the periodic chart of elements. Okay. Which means absolutely nothing to some people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to the vast majority of people, right? Most people can't even spell periodic elements, much less refine them or define them or anything.
I mean, did I ever tell a story about when I was a senior in high school and what was I in? Chemistry, I was in physics, and me and a couple other people. Now these people, I never understood this, but it was two of the smartest kids in the class. They had 4.0s, and we all painted the periodic table on the wall of the physics / chemistry room to get a letter grade of extra credit. Okay. I needed the letter grade of extra. In fact, I needed their letter grades of extra credit that they got. They graduated with 4.0s. They didn't need that letter grade of extra credit any more than I needed the.
So why'd they do it then?
Extra piece of strawberry pie I had for dessert yesterday.
What'd they need it for then? What'd they do it for then?
Maybe they just wanted to hang out with me. I don't know.
Maybe that's why kids like that have straight A's.
Probably
ready to step up.
Probably, but I painted that periodic table, and I think that B- I got that grading period for getting that extra letter grade was probably the best grade I ever got in science in high school. Just a little hard work, man. Just a little hard work.
Well,
I couldn't tell you anything on the periodic table anymore.
This person can tell you more stuff than I don't even know how to tell you. But my point was, we think sometimes about how much it'd be just to be able to just watch a ball game or whatever. You know what I mean? People that don't even worry about nothing, right?
Yeah, I see people like that all the time, and I feel like I got lists and lists and lists of stuff that I need to do, that I need to get done, that I need to, whether it's for the podcast or songwriting or for the other writing or, just so I can keep on. And it's like, I would like so much sometimes to just be able to sit there and watch a ball game and not worry about, man, I should be doing something else. I got other stuff that needs to be done. Like, I don't get the people that just, like, I came home one night this week and I had to meet the guy, get hay up in the hay mow, and then I had to come home and mow the yard. And I walked in the houses after 8 o'clock. I hadn't showered or eaten dinner, and I thought, I know guys that do this every night on the farm. It's just hard, it's just labor, and I just can't. And they are satisfied.
You can't do labor.
I can do labor, but there's other stuff that needs to be done that's not labor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, because yes, I do, but I find myself yearning for a labor job.
I don't, because I do. I
just really wanted to cut the grass over at State Park, and they won't hire me. They won't interview me. They won't hire me. They won't nothing me.
Because they figure you'll go in there and try to change things because you're too smart.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Give me a freaking lawnmower that I don't have to work on. Just let me cut grass, right? Just let me cut grass, and it's, the high school's on the way, right, to the state park, so I could drop my kids off at school, slide over to park, and just empty some trash cans and cut a little grass and listen to my whatever I want in my Bluetooth all day, and then park the lawnmower and stop by football practice on the way home or tennis practice or whatever. And I mean, how freaking easy is that?
Yeah, that sounds great, but I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. I would just be thinking about other stuff that I need to get done. I wish I could get into that, into that mode, I mean, but we do, the only time I could really just not think about doing something else is when Christy and I agree on something we want to watch, and we take that half hour, 45 minutes of a thing on TV, and I kind of like put the phone down, and we're done, and we just watch it and enjoy something together like that. But that's about it. I can't even. But don't get me. Which reminds me, don't get me started on. You watch Cobra Kai?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh gosh. So they Is
that a cartoon, isn't it?
No. You've seen the Karate Kid, right? Obviously, yeah. Karate Kid.
The original.
So the original one. So they started this series. This is its 5th season, and it's I think it started originally on YouTube, and it was it's called Cobra Kai, and it started out being centered around Johnny Lawrence. Johnny Lawrence was the original nemesis of Ralph Macchio in the original Karate Kid, and it's about them today, where Johnny Lawrence is kind of a loser, and Ralph Macchio has made it big as a car salesman or whatever. And it's now that we're on season 5, it's kind of like, oh gosh, it's almost run its course, so to speak. But I'll tell you what, I can't hardly watch Ralph Macchio as an actor or as a person. Nothing against him, I'm sure he's a great, but he just grates me, man. Just grates me.
Because you remember him as a Karate Kid, and you thought at that time, dude, I'm going D1 football. I could kick your ass.
Well, is that why? Okay. So full disclosure, back in the day, Christy has admitted she had a super crush on Ralph Macchio, which I had to point out. I said, you do realize when the original Karate Kid,
he's only like 5'6", 150 pounds or something, isn't he?
True.
Okay, go ahead.
True, and I don't remember when the original Karate Kid came out. I'll have to look it up. But she is younger than me. Okay, by a little bit. Okay, so the original Karate Kid came out in 1984. All right. So Ralph Macchio in 1984. Ralph Macchio is 60 years old right now. Okay. So in 1984, he was 31. He was born in 61, right? 9. No, he would have been 23. 23.
Mathematics. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, that's how bad Ralph Macchio gets me worked up. But, he's playing like a 14, 15-year-old kid, and he's like 23, 24. And I'm just like, so maybe that just rubs me the wrong way, that she had this crush on this older guy who was way older. And because she'd have been like 10. No, she'd been 9. Had the crush on this 23-year-old, 24-year-old. But she thought he was like 14 or 15. And and he looks so unathletic. He's such a cheese ball. His act, I'm just going to come across as a really bitter and sour man speaking about Ralph Macchio.
Keep going. I like it. You're taking me down somewhere. You're making me feel good about myself, because I did something one time that I made in the professional space I used to occupy. that makes me feel. I don't think about it that often, but when I do, I always wonder why I did what I did. And you're helping me understand myself. So keep talking.
Well, Ralph Macchio has something that a man is not supposed to have, and it's like it's a lap. You know what I'm saying by a lap? Like he has oh God, like a big German Irish woman sitting there with a big apron, sitting down sewing. He's got a lap like that, like a big lap. Like he's got real scrawny arms and legs, but he's just got this
LAP, like lap,
like a big lap, like a dog could crawl up on his
How
lap.
would you see that?
Because
it's on Cobra Kai.
Yeah, because he's just him standing there. He's so odd shaped. There's no way he's a karate champion. I can't buy it. I won't buy it. I can't. You know?
Well, but I don't know about that. I just know that, karate that's not Japanese, is it? Yeah, it's Japanese, or is it Taiwanese?
Yeah,
Which is it?
Yeah, it's Japanese, I believe. Yeah. But I will say the best thing about this is Johnny Lawrence's character, the guy who was the bad guy. He is you totally feel sympathetic and kind of root for the guy after all these years. So
I don't even know. There's a lot to unpack there, man. There's a lot.
Were you a big fan of the Karate Kid? Or did you not? Did you buy Danny Russo, Ralph Macchio?
Did I buy who?
Did you buy Ralph Macchio as Danny Russo as a karate champion? A little kid. I mean, come on.
I don't even remember how old I was when I seen that for the first time, right? I just remember, yes, I mean, would you say 84? So
yeah.
I was like in 8th grade. Okay.
Yeah.
And in 1984, my heroes were, of course, Brian Bosworth.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to think who else. Bo and Luke Duke.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Maybe Waylon Jennings, because he was playing some on there. Burt Reynolds. And I'm trying to think who else. I mean, any hair guy that could play the guitar. Quite right, Rat.
Leaf Garrett.
I don't know. Well, I tell you,
Cassidy, the Cassidy kid, Sean Cassidy, and
I'm thinking more along the lines of not David Bowie, but who was anyway.
Anybody out there remember Leaf Garrett? Do they really?
I don't even. Leaf Garrett was the dude that found America. That Leaf Garrett.
That was Leif Erikson.
Whatever. All the Anglo-Saxon names sound the same to me. No.
Did Leif Garrett sing "You Make Me Feel Like Dancing" or something like that?
Did he?
I don't know. Maybe, or did he feel like dancing when he discovered America?
Is that one of the things? Well, I was thinking more like I don't even know, man. I don't even know.
But the question is, so you didn't buy Ralph Macchio as a
not at all, because I mean, how would you even
Leif Garrett just, oh my gosh, you look at him now. How did he end up on Tiger Beat magazine all the time? He's 9 years older than me.
I don't even know who he is. I couldn't even pick him out of a crowd of two.
Yeah, you would, because you'd be like, you got to be a failed child star that has not done anything since they turned 17.
I was thinking of Billy Idol. Maybe Billy Idol.
Billy Idol.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody like that. So no.
I Was Made for Dancing, 1978, number 2.
See, you're before me. You're too far. It's just too old.
I was made for dancing. Oh, Oh, no, come on.
I mean, 1984, the Van Halen album, 1984 came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I think in my dead brother's box over here, I got his original 1984 cassette.
You know, if you had his vinyl album, I'd step up and purchase
Nope, he had cassettes. He had cassettes. I would give it to you. I wouldn't make you buy it. I would give it to you.
That'd be pretty sweet. But
you know what? I've got one vinyl album in my office here.
What's
and
that?
I'm gonna so I don't botch this. I'm gonna walk over here and pick it up, and I'm gonna read to you, okay? And it's sitting there because I was gonna give it to a friend of mine. I never did. Hold on.
This is compelling. This is the compellingness of podcasting right here. Listening to. This is where I go into full Leaf Garrett mode.
Okay, I'm gonna see if you can get this, huh?
I was just telling the audience this is where I should go into full Leaf Garrett mode and sing the whole "I Was Made for Dance."
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. This is a 19. Let me see. Is it even 1977 MCA Records?
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't give you the music vibe because the second guy will give it away.
What are some of the songs?
I'm going to give you which song? There's 9 songs on this album. You pick a number 1 through 9, and I'll tell you what the song is.
Give me number 3. Let me see.
Number 3 is that won't, dude. That'll give the whole thing away.
Okay, then go number 4.
Foxy Lady, Bill Justin. 2 minutes and 51 seconds.
Foxy Lady.
Foxy, Foxy Lady.
Foxy Lady. What
you know what number 6 is? You know what number 6 is?
What's number 6?
Orange Blossom Special by Irvin T. Rouse. 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
The Orange Blossoms. So this is
number 8 is March of the Rednecks by Bill Justice.
So Bill Justice is the songwriter.
Yes, must be. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So imagine.
Number 9 is If You Leave Me Tonight, I'll Cry by Gerald Sanford and Hal Mooney.
Ooh.
You ever heard of those two guys?
I believe I've heard of Hal Mooney.
Okay.
But I'm going to look up Bill Justice to see what else he wrote.
Oh, so you're punking me out right here.
No. I'm going to see what else he wrote.
This is music from the original motion picture soundtrack of. Give it to me.
1970. Is it?
It's the number 2. It's number 2. Star Wars was number 1. What was number 2?
Oh gosh. Well, that's. What was the Willie Nelson movie?
Redheaded Stranger?
No. The movie he was in.
I don't know. Remember he was in wasn't Redheaded Stranger with Gary Busey?
That was.
I watched Gary Busey. I could have been in Hollywood. If I couldn't have been Nick Nolte, I could have damn sure been in Gary Busey.
Oh, gosh.
I wasted my life.
Do you want to know some of the other?
Let's finish this. Our viewers are listening. It's the soundtrack to Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh my gosh.
And I seen that, and I picked it up for a friend of mine that I went to high school with, and I just haven't. I put it in a box because I've moved so many times, and I haven't had a chance to give it to him. And when I was in this, you've never seen. One of these days, maybe I'll throw a picture of my office here. Maybe I'll text you on tonight, or to remind me tomorrow. Text you a picture of my office, and you could post it on wherever you post it, so the fans can see where the magic's made.
Okay.
And they will realize why I can't find stuff when I need it.
Well, I looked up Bill Justice's discography, like some of his. These are considered the highlight songs of his. Okay, so I'm going to give you these titles. Okay, and as a songwriter, couple of these do kind of stand out. But number one is raunchy. Thinking about Elvis 2. Someday in Paradise. She Makes Time Stand Still. The Road to San Miguel. Papa Ain't Got Nothing. Old Soulard. Soulard. That's a terrible hook. What do you rhyme Soulard with?
I don't know. Buy the album.
No Clue Blues. The Coast of Georgia. Whiskey Talkin'. The Arkansas River. New Moon. But this is my favorite. Hobos, Heroes, and Street Corner Clowns.
That's us. Which one are we?
I don't know. We could be all three.
I like that.
I know. I got to look that up. I really do. And I got to look up Old Soulard because I got to hear how he rhymed that. Or if he did.
Yeah, maybe he didn't. Maybe it just rhymed itself when you say something like that.
Well, on the final note here before we jump off, Nita, our social media girl, and I have been trying to set up the new merchandise thing for everybody. And you would not believe the different pieces of merch that we could have our logo and stuff put on. Like
what? Underwear?
Oh, underwear, 2-piece bikini. You can get them on leggings, tennis shoes. We can get tennis shoes with the From the Shadows podcast, like design on the side. It's just, there's all kinds of stuff. It's unbelievable. So, but we're looking. So we're going to throw this out there. We're looking for a good Ozark Howler design that we can put on a shirt.
Well, it's hard to put spray chrome and primer on clothing.
But we do. We have some really good artists we've been talking to for some stuff, and do some like some specialty T-shirts that are only available for a short time. And so we're looking for somebody to come up with a good design for the Ozark Howler, so we can do a special Ozark Howler T-shirt, one that meets your approval.
The only thing, I am hard to please. I'm going to be honest with you on T-shirts.
I know. Well, but just remember, this Ozark Howler design we can get on a beach towel. You can get
that's
on
okay.
Gamer mouse pad.
If it's how big my mouse pad is.
I don't know. There's some big ones like 18 by 36. I'm like, what is that? I'm so out of touch.
Mine is at least that big. Mine's probably the 20 by 48 model. Mm-hmm. But that's just me. What I was going to say about T-shirts, if it ain't got a pocket, I don't wear it.
Really?
Yes, because I need to put my glasses or some money or something in. Mainly it's my glasses and stuff.
All right. Well, we'll have to
just remember that the official Ozark Howler T-shirt will have a pocket on it. So if you don't have a pocket, you got an imposter.
Okay. So it's gonna have to have a pocket. Okay.
Yep, it's gonna have a pocket. Put your squares in. I mean, you're old enough to know what that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, there you go. We threw it out there. If you want to throw your hat in the ring for Ozark Howler design,
that's right.
Then send it in. We'll be eagerly awaiting.
That's right.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.
God only